I've got the ladder. Here we go. Quadrillion. This is the only place you'll find that number written on the island. 1/10 of 10 quadrillion. How suspicious. If our idea is right, there should be some sort of device embedded in that relief. We just need to check. Who's going up? I'll go. Hold that ladder down, okay? Be careful. It's fairly high up. Rudolph climbed up the propped-up ladder, step by step as the rain poured down on him. Look at the cue. See anything? Some sort of device. Ladder's a bit shaky. Oh boy. What is it? Did something happen? Bingo. Take a look at this. Rudolph tossed the cue down. It hit Kraus on the shoulder and landed in a puddle. This is the key! What does it mean? Rudolph, don't tell me you could take out the other letters too! Yeah, looks like it. Guess our crazy theories weren't far off either after all. It's the next letter to take out. Next letter to take out. I, and then L. Following her instructions, Rudolph removed the 6 letters of the first twilight. Now that they'd gotten this far, nothing stood in the way of them solving the riddle. By trial and error, they finally reached the final stage. Narcissist! Sorry, I just had to pound it in against Kinzo just one more time. It says to gouge starting from the head, which means going from left to right. Rudolph, starting from the left, turn the keys before taking them out. Got it. Got it. Now that we massacred all the letters, we reached the night twilight and none are left alive. So? Did something happen? It felt like something clicked, but nothing changed. Did a hidden door open up somewhere? Hey! Look at that! It moved, I'm sure it did! Everyone, look! A lion statue facing the other way! What's going on? Is there some secret inside the lion statue? That's not it. It's probably telling us to look where the lion's pointing. See? Look that way. That lion's facing a different way too. What does it mean? It's guiding us, stupid. We have to go in the direction of the lion's face. And, before Ava dashed forward. The others all chased after her. The goal was right in front of them. Now this is a surprise. Who would have thought that a hidden stairway like this existed? It makes sense now. Father didn't like people going near the chapel. I wonder how long that device has been there. Judging by the feel of this underground passage, probably for quite a long time. I imagine it was built nearly the same time as the mansion itself. The riddle of the epitaph was probably also planned many decades ago. Well, this is Dad we're talking about. I try not to let the things he does surprise me, but this... Just how far does the stairway go? Hey, maybe that old rumor was true. You know, the story about him having a mistress in the hidden mansion somewhere in the forest. I see. It's likely that this underground passage does go all the way there. I wonder if it connects to the mansion from that day. I think we found the goal. Look at that filthy door. Something's written on it. Ooh, bingo. Something was written on the door in red paint. On the 10th twilight at journey's end, you shall attain the power of the Golden Land's treasures once and for the last time. Does it open? It does. Ready. I'm going to open it. So we finally reached the goal. You can only hope that such a sweet deal's really true. Let's open it, Nissan. Right. I'm opening it. The heavy door opened slowly. Then the gold-filled underground VIP room showed itself. They only had an instant to admire its splendid furnishings. As soon as the mound of gold next to the canopy bed came into sight, they all froze, stunned. After a second, the stunned silence faded and was replaced by cries of astonishment and wild joy. Incredible! I can't believe it! It's 20 billion yen in gold! It really does exist! What a shining mountain, it almost blinds the eyes. We did it! We did it! We win this game! You mustn't touch it without permission! This is Father's gold! Oh, really? Then why don't you call Father down here now? Right away! The time for your farce is over and done with. Nazi, let's put an end to the obvious lies, shall we? We have a real mountain of gold right here. Did we all just be honest with each other? Fortunately, we're all in a good mood and feeling very gracious right now. Just give it up already! A pile of gold this massive carries magical power within it. The power that draws out the most honest feelings within people. The light from the chandelier glinted off the golden mountain, lighting it up with its golden sparkle. It was as though the sparkle controlled everyone present. For some time they forgot their age, and howled and laughed, running about and rolling around like a bunch of excited kindergartners at a park. Just like what happened. What is all this? What is it supposed to mean? Before the crime, the epitaph has been solved. And by all the siblings together, that hasn't happened in any of the games before now. Supposedly, Beatrice decided not to commit the crime if the epitaph was solved. Yeah, supposedly. We'll see about that. As Angie snorted, but I believed. This is what Claire decided. If she entrusted everything to the roulette of fate, she'll obey the result. She let the roulette decide her own fate specifically because they couldn't decide on their own. So she'll do what it says. She'll follow her own rule. She'll definitely keep her promise. I don't think the crime will occur. Are you sure about that? Yes. Her roulette has already made its decision. This is the end of her game. If it's the end, what happens next? They all become happy rich people and leave the family conference unharmed? Does my family get the ingot that isn't chocolate as a parting gift before coming back to me? Will it be a happy end for everyone? You think those witches would chain us to chairs that just show us on a naive dream like that? She showed off the chain with her wrist with a clank. I was unable to counter her with confidence. But I want to believe. This might be at least exciting ending. Claire's game has now reached an end. Perhaps just once at the end, she wanted to show us a world where no crime occurs. Now that she's disappeared with no regrets, is she leaving us with a parting gift in the form of a game where no crime takes place? In the sense the most peaceful sort of game. I want to believe. If only these heavy cold chains weren't holding us in a place in this theater. Is someone there? Rosa's shrill cry brought the celebrating to an immediate stop. Rosa knew she'd seen it. The curtain against the wall had fluttered, and a shout had been there behind it. Come on, don't do that. You're just imagining things. Is someone there? If you are, come out! When Ava yelled, the curtain shook. And then, a witch wearing a black dress appeared from the other side. In an instant, everyone realized that the dress was the same as the one worn by the witch of the portrait. They realized one more thing. This person was the owner of this room. Welcome to the Room of the Gold. Her face and voice were expressionless. The others all looked at each other, wondering who should respond. Rudolph was the first to speak. So you are Beatrice? Indeed. And you're the one who gave Maria the letter! Indeed. Is father behind this? No. This is my game. If that's so, then we've won! We solved the epitaph's riddle and found the gold! We accepted your challenge and won! That means this gold belongs to us, right? Indeed. It is as you say. You have solved the epitaph splendidly, and discovered the hidden gold. This game ends in your victory. This gold no longer belongs to me, but all of you. It seems you're a graceful loser. Hey, you! If we hadn't solved the epitaph's riddle, what were you planning to do? The letter said that you'd take everything of the Ushinomiya family. Yes, I plan to take all of your wealth. And all of your lives. I plan to do as I please with everything that exists on this island. The witch walked toward the table next to the bed. Then for the first time the others realized what sat on that table. There were 4 rifles. There was also a case filled with bullets. The witch picked up one of the lead bullets lying on the table and played with it, her face still expressionless as she spoke. If this night ended before you managed to solve the epitaph's riddle, I plan to follow the epitaph and commit 13 murders. What did you say? That's what I thought when I first saw the epitaph. It almost looked like something you find in a serial murder mystery novel. That's right. If you had killed 13 people to match the epitaph, that would have made for quite a mysterious crime. There's no way you could do that all by yourself! No matter how many guns you had, killing 13 people, that would just be... I formed my plan with great care and constructed several alternatives. I envisioned all the actions you might have taken tonight, and through tomorrow, I prepared a mystery to deal with each of those. I'm afraid I cannot reveal any of those at this point, but it really was a tightly knit set of pleasant closed room murders. If there were just a few of us, you probably could have gunned us down in our sleep. There's no way you could have killed 13 of us. We aren't that stupid. It would seem so. At any rate, I predicted that the epitaph being solved before the first twilight was the most unlikely result. It would seem that us reaching this place was a miscalculation on your part. No. Even this was one of the results of the roulette I wished to create. This is probably the best outcome for all of you. No one will die, and you can leave this island with the gold. Congratulations. This game ends with a perfect victory with you all. No one could solve the riddle. She planned to take a gun and commit a serial murder. Everyone gulped as they watched the witch emotionally make her confession. If this confession of yours is the truth, that means you were trying to kill us. Yes, that is true. The hell? You just say it like that. couldn't possibly expect us to treat you favorably after revealing that much to us, right? I am prepared. You may do as you will with me. If you hadn't saw the epitaph, I would have done the same to you. So it is only fair. This girl's got guts! I planned this game because I was prepared to bet my life. I'm satisfied with the result. If you wish to kill me now, I am prepared. By now, she didn't even treasure her life. As the witch spoke and walked near the others, they automatically stepped back. The gold belongs to all of you. I planned to give everything to the one who discovered it first, but I didn't expect there to be 7 of you. I leave the decision of how to split the gold to you. I will not involve myself, and... The witch walked even closer. The group parted. She walked up to the antique clock behind them. The clock was large and had a dignified feel to it. The witch patted it and spoke. Allow me to explain the device within this clock. For you have gained not just the gold, but the entirety of this island. What do you mean by that? Wait, if you read it like a murder case up until the 8th twilight, then only 13 people are killed. But by the 9th twilight, it clearly says that none are to be left alive. What does that mean? That she was planning to massacre all of us? Don't tell me that clock! As you have guessed, it is linked to a set of explosives. Are you the one who set that up? Or is that Ushiromiya Kinzo? Kinzo is the one who set up the device. It is the source of his mad magical power. I don't have a clue what you're talking about! In other words, Dad set up this bomb. If he ever went broke, he was ready to wipe out everything, including himself, and die? On this island, Ushiromiya Kinzo made a contract with the Golden Witch and obtained the gold. However, that was not all he gained. What are you talking about? Wait, don't tell me. There is that rumor about the remains of the old Japanese military base existed at Rokkenjima. Could it be? Your guess is correct. Beneath this island sleeps the remains of an underground Japanese military base from the time of the war, along with 900 tons of explosive. 900 tons! That's unbelievable! If that exploded, the result would be unimaginable! Forget just a mansion blowing up, it'll leave it an entire massive crater! I believe an expert's estimate put the hole at several dozen meters deep and a kilometer across. There wouldn't even be a trace left! Those explosives can be ignited by a special device. One connected to the activation switch I just flipped. The witch toyed with the switch on the top part of the antique clock. If 2400 arrives, when the switch is in this position, the bombs will explode. It's almost 2400 now. In other words, it won't explode X hours after you flip it. It's a time limit bomb that only explodes at midnight. Indeed, it is almost 2400 now. If such an explosion is what you desire, you need only leave it like this. Who would want that? Turn it off! By this time, Kinzo was probably the only one who knew. The secret base on Rokkenjima had started out as a submarine base. However, when that plan reached a standstill, it was redefined as a top-secret base for Homeland Defense. A huge plan had been drawn up to have the Army and Navy perform a pincer attack on American forces if the latter decided to land on Kujukuri Beach and press toward Tokyo. As a trump card for this massive defensive maneuver, the Navy started stockpiling large quantities of explosives and fuel in absolute secrecy. And the Rokkenjima base was the location of the top-secret stockpile. The buried explosives weighed 900 tons in total. Also fearing that the Americans might find out the island's secrets and seize the explosives, they set up a system for self-destruction. of the entire island. Kinzo, who knew all this, decided not to remove this device, but to tie it in with a strange clock that would trigger such an explosion any night at midnight. Kinzo was famous for building up his funds using a vast store of gold, then using those funds, several sink-or-swim gambles one after another. Just what did his stockpile of gold and the 900 tons of sleeping explosives mean to him? At this point, we can only guess. Perhaps the true source of Kinzo's mad power wasn't the gold after all. If he lost a big gamble, and all that he owned, he could erase this entire island from existence with this. For the rest of his life, he must have put a gold and everything else he had on the line. Kinzo probably stared at this clock several times, sometimes flipping the activation switch and letting it down. Maybe whenever he came up against a troubling problem, he would hide in here and flip the switch, with the intention of blowing everything away if he didn't think of a brilliant plan before 2400 came. He could gaze at this mound of gold, listening to the clock tick toward his death, as he searched for an idea. Perhaps Ushiramiya Kinzo's real study wasn't the one in the mansion, but this place instead. Source switch sounds just like Dad, but maybe each time Dad worried about something, all of his kids were put on the line as well. Truly, Kinzo. Really selfish of him. Best dad of all time though, right? Just kidding. Anyway, this is Father, so it wouldn't be unthinkable. This device now belongs to all of you. If you desire a massive explosion, use it whenever you please. Are you crazy? Who want a big explosion? These explosives are half a century old, right? Would they really go off? Yes, of course. The explosives and the fuses are still working. I tested them myself. You tested them? You mean that? I see. Now I finally understand. So that's why the shrine disappeared without a trace. That summer, the shrine had disappeared completely along with the reef under it. Though people found it odd, the waves could have wiped it out completely, so no one paid much of it in mind. And now this piece fits perfectly with the hole that caused that strange feeling. Indeed. I used that shrine to test whether the explosives were still working after half a century. I believe that you're all aware of the results. The little bit I used was enough to make the entire reef vanish. It's easy to see how 900 tons of that would cause an explosion large enough to rewrite the map. If an explosion like that were to occur, it would certainly kill all of us, but what about you? I doubt you were planning to die along with all of us. This underground VIP room is connected by a subterranean passage to the remnants of the military base. If you go straight along that, you'll come out of the hidden mansion on the opposite side of the island, Kuwadori. It's about 2 kilometers away. If you make it all the way there, you should be able to escape the blast. I see. So you plan to escape to there just before the blast. I have only said that such a thing is possible. You may not believe this, but the night twilight ended before any of you could solve the riddle. I plan to die along with everything else. There's something seriously wrong with this girl. She's insane. There's no point in overthinking it. If we hadn't solved the epitaph, she would have used those guns, or else that switch, to massacre all of us, right? There's no doubting that now. You are correct. You have ended this game the best possible way, without there even being a single victim. I wish to convey my respect and admiration. There may have been 7 of you. You did solve that riddle, which took me so long to solve in a single night. That is worthy of praise. And I admire you for your graciousness and honesty in defeat. We'll decide how to deal with you in the future, but I intend to do all I can to gentlemanly reach an agreement. Pay me no mind any longer. I am already one of the dead, who is already prepared to kill everyone and die myself. The Golden Witch Beatrice saw the epitaph, reached this room and revived. And now, new people had solved the riddle and reached this room. Her role was finished. When the epitaph's riddle was solved, Beatrice's illusion of the witch ended. Most likely, no one in this room was capable of understanding her grim determination. She herself was probably the only one who understood, as long as the many selves inside of her understood. That was enough. I am one, yet many. I abandon myself to the magical roulette of endless possibility. The result, the answer is this. This is what the tarot cards known as the epitaph ceremony have shown me. Beatrice is already dead. They did not kill her. I killed her myself, in accordance with fate's command. They will never understand, for all eternity. The witch stared up at the ceiling without speaking for a while, then looked as though she'd suddenly remembered something. She grabbed her sleeves of her dress and took out some sort of card. Oh yes, I forgot. I have no need for money after death. I will give this all to you as well. A cash card? I have converted a portion of the gold to cash. This is for the account that the money is in. I see! So this is the source of the Gold Witch's magical energy. How much? I've forgotten the details. However, there's more than 1 billion yen. 1 billion? Now that really would be magic. True. There's nothing you couldn't do with that much money. Very true. The strongest magic to counter the human's anti-magic toxin is this magic of gold. It may be that this card holds greater power than the ingots. Certainly! Cash would be much more agreeable than ingots. Here you go. I have no need of this anymore. The card she held out was not taken by any of them. Who would ever just hand over a card with 1 billion yen in it? The mountain of gold, the device for blowing up the island, a card with 1 billion yen. All these surpassed their understanding. So, no one could bring themselves to take it. I don't like it. What don't you like? Here you go. Here's a mountain of gold, and I'll turn off the explosives and give you a card worth 1 billion yen while we're at it. Sounds far too good to be true. You're trying to trick us somehow, aren't you? I have no desire to trick you, but I won't try to force you to believe. I've offered you everything, revealed everything. What you believe and what you do is now for you and the new masters of the gold to decide. You're even free to disbelieve all I say and leave this place. Ava, I can't imagine that she's lying. I messed up. And how could you know that? I don't like how relaxed she's acting. It's as though she thinks she's already won. I just had an idea a second ago. But she's lying about which switch is the offside. What do you mean, Nason? Just a second ago, this woman flipped the switch to the side. She said she would turn off the bomb. But what if that actually aren't the bomb? We solved the riddle, so you turn off the bomb switch on to try to blow us and everything else up, right? If that is what you think, then feel free to flip the switch on this clock. It will be 24:00 in a minute. The clock will show you the truth. What did you say? Hey, what are we supposed to do? Is the bomb set on now? Or off? Can't imagine that she's lying. It's inactive now. We shouldn't flip it. But I don't like it. Why is she so resigned to her fate? Why is she offering us one thing after the other? She's tricking us to buy time. She wants to buy time until 24:00 so she can go down in flames along with us. What about the switch itself? Is there some way to tell if it's on or off? On the upper part of the anti-clock was a metal switch that could slide right or left. Right now it was set to the left. However, there were no marks in particular on either side to tell which was off and which was on. Hey, tell us the truth. Which way is off? Left. It's off now. You idiot! You really expect an honest answer from her? It's the opposite. It has to be. The right side must be off. We don't have any more time, Nae-san. Quit it, Ava. Don't touch the switch. It's set to off now. Ava, take your hand off of it. I agree. It's off now. If she wanted to kill us with a bomb, she wouldn't have told us about it. Beatrice! Don't think you can trick me! 5, 4, 3. The second half of the clock ticked past 24:00. October 4th ended, and the curtain rose on October 5th, 1986. The switch was still pointing to the left. The witch's words had been proven correct. Have I gained your trust now? You bitch! With a hideous sweat-covered expression, Ava snatched the cash card away from the witch's hand. How about a bank book and a seal? We can't withdraw anything but just a card. All you need is the PIN. It's 8 digits long. Wait a second! I'm writing it down! Ava and Kyrie both took out a pen and notepad and began writing the 8-digit number the witch told them. That is everything I have to tell you and to give you. I will say nothing more. All my tasks have been completed. After saying this, the witch spun around and sat on the bed. She wasn't even looking at the others anymore. She sat there like an empty husk, which had, just as she had said, finished everything it existed to do. For a while, everyone watched the witch to see if she would remember something else and start talking. However, she said nothing else. The witch who had called herself one of the dead was now little more than a large French doll wearing a black dress. By the way, before we start, I don't know if I include this, but people don't really talk about how Kinzo's influence in Chinese stuff. I mean, he's lived in Taiwan, and there are probably some people who are Chinese that live there. Because, like, I mean, okay, the 2 lion statues, they're probably not Chinese styled or something. But, like, you can kind of get that, though. Because, like, lion dogs, those are, like, put in certain places. It's a bit of a stretch, but you get what I mean. And then when you see, you can kind of see it when you look at Ava when she wears a qipao. That's Chinese clothing and stuff. And, like, what she wears, like, as if she was not influenced by her dad in some way and that she tries to be like her dad. Like, that's what I kind of bet. You know? Especially, like, with Kraus and Ava, like, traveling and all that stuff at times. Like, you can kind of see it. That's what I think. Especially, like, look at, like, the literature that she lets George read. Like, Journey to the West. Hey, this is my little retrospective hindsight. I can read and interject whenever I want to. And this isn't a dramatic part, so I really don't care. And I really don't care about the siblings talking about inheritance and bullshit like that. So, whatever. But yeah. Like, when you see her, like, the Chinese influences that lead into the Ushimiya due to the fact that everybody is trying to be like Kinzo. through Kinzo's terrible temper, his abusive behavior, the things that he likes. Deliberately with Crouch trying to echo his dad with his real estate bullshit. Ava trying to also do that and be educated, but because she's a woman. But she definitely has those misogynistic attitude that Grandpa had. Or of course, like, Kinzo's escapism in a sense that is, you can see that. So everything kind of echoes him in a way because, like, he's traumatized his family so much. And, like, they all want to be like him. They all want his... Even if they resent him in some way, they all want him to admire them. And recognize them and acknowledge them. Like how Angie had said in episode 4. Why did I want to dump it now? Because I can. And I'm not on a live stream, so I'll do whatever. Anyway, yeah. Let's continue. Clarify, like, you know. Like I said before, like, I'm not saying that, like, because, oh, he lived in Taiwan, it's like, you get what I mean. They're two separate things. Two different countries. You know. And of course, if, like, you immigrate from one country to another, it's separate culture. Okay? But that's all I'm saying. I hope you get what I mean. Just to interject before anybody is like, oh my god, are you saying that they're the same? No. I'm just covering my bases. I like to be very meticulous and make things clear. I don't want people to jump on me and think that I'm trying to state anything controversial or that I'm trying to say, you know, because I don't want to be like, I don't want it to be like, oh yeah, I don't recognize this as its own country when it is. Just like if you go to, like, there are Chinese people who live in Vietnam and they immigrated or they went to America. It's not like they don't have their own cultures and stuff. Okay? That, I just want to make that clear. Just in case people are at me about me being Chinese and all that other stuff. But I'm Chinese American, so... Anyway.